Your ex will regret breaking up with you if you follow what I'm about to say in this video. In this video, I'm gonna really detail the process my clients go through when they do the right things, when they change their life, when they change their perspective on things, when they change their belief system, and put them in a position where their ex realized that the decision they made was the wrong one. And you have to understand that when people decide to break up, they make that decision, but they don't have enough data. They make a lot of assumptions. And if you do the right things, you can basically show them very simply that their assumptions were wrong, that their decision was wrong, and that their best option for them is to get back with you and therefore regret the decision right away. You see, everything will make sense after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
But this is what happens after a breakup. We are very often self-critical. A breakup is really hard in terms of your self-esteem. And you might be thinking, it's very easy to think about that. And I've been in your shoes thinking, oh no, I'm not good enough. I must have said something wrong. If I was this, or if I was that, if I did this, or if I did that, my ex is better than me. If your ex is dating someone, it's really hard for me to see him or her dating someone. And therefore you have this rationale in your head. I have so much pain right now. My objective is to reduce that pain, right? To make it disappear. And if we are back together, that pain will disappear, right? Makes sense. And therefore, I'm going to fight really hard to shorten the time apart. Because the longer we're apart, the longer I'll suffer. Okay? This is a classic sort of thinking process that people have after a breakup. But it's a dangerous one, and I'll explain you why. Here is the problem. The problem is me. I did something wrong. I said something wrong. I should be different. And therefore, the solution is my ex, right? If I want to be happy, I need to get back with him or her. It's a little bit more complex than that. It's a little bit more complex than that because you would have noticed that my job is to help people getting back with the ex. I used to be a relationship counselor. There was a lot of things that were positive and other things that weren't positive because it's really hard to work in a couple setting because the dynamic is different. I won't get into too much detail on that. But thinking that you're the problem and they're the solution makes it even harder for you to get back together. So think about your role in the relationship. Were you respectful with your ex? Did you make some effort? Or did you neglect your partner throughout the relationship? And I'm not talking about the beginning, I'm talking about throughout the relationship. And very often you see some friction, you see some tension in the relationship. And perhaps you made the effort, perhaps you tried to discuss things out. You tried to address things with your ex. You're watching this video, and therefore I can assume that you are working on yourself. You are trying to learn how to do things differently. You're trying to learn how to feel better, right? These questions are essential. If you answered yes to those questions, I can tell you that the problem is not you, right? It's not only you. Of course, there's an element of change, there's an element of reflection, and we'll come to that, but it's not only about you. And the situation is, if I did what I needed, I'm not responsible of my ex. You're not responsible of his or her mistakes. You're not responsible for his or her insecurity. If he's avoidant or if she's avoidant, that's not your responsibility, right? Your responsibility is how you can ensure that you are more secure, that you feel less anxious. If I take the example of dating an avoidant, but you are not responsible for their insecurities, their trauma, especially as an ex. You're not responsible for their action. Very often, not very often, but a few times I have clients on the phone and they tell me, I realized that their relationship was toxic and abusive. Do you want to get back with someone who's treating you this way? Yes and no. So be realistic about also how much you invest in the relationship. So it's not always only about you. Of course, questioning yourself is key. It's key and it's very interesting, and we'll come to that later on. So what did you learn in this breakup? What are the things that I will not do again? It's very important to learn from your mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. What matters is your ability to learn from them. The same goes in lots of areas in your life, but in relationships it's the same. Do you have someone to help you? Do you have a clear idea of what I want? Because I did the work, right? And that's it. That's the only thing you have to ask. And a lot of people, and that's why I work with my partner Sanela, who's a psychologist who works with me now, and with my clients, is really reducing the number of questions. Usually when people call me, and I'm pretty sure you have tons of questions, you won't ask me. Honestly, if you address those 4 questions, that's enough. That's it. The problem you might have is that you are obsessing on many questions. Challenge yourself, asking those additional questions. Does it make you happier? Does it make you feel less anxious? Do you feel it's bringing you closer to your ex? I can guarantee that no. So be clear about those questions, and when you question yourself, it's really about being non-judgmental, being compassionate about yourself, right? You can do it in different ways, but it's very critical. So maybe pause this video and list them down. It's really about how can you maximize this experience. A breakup is a negative experience, but you have the ability, you have the option to decide whether you grow from that experience or whether you let things transform yourself in a bad way, affect yourself in a bad way. Right person. Is it the right person? Are you the right person? Are you working on yourself? Are they working on themselves? Do you feel they have a desire to be a better person, to understand their mistakes, to do what you're doing basically? Because if they are in total denial of what was wrong in the relationship, and they feel like, I'm better off. I feel that you did that. I feel that you betrayed me, or I feel that you didn't respect me. If they feel this way, it's going to be hard. But if they're in denial or saying like, I am better than you in a way, it's going to be hard for you to be happy with that person. Remember, if you guys were happy, and that's what I assess with my clients, and if you're not sure whether you have a chance to get back with your ex, there's a quiz, by the way, and the link is in the description where you can assess whether you have any chance to get back with your ex, and that quiz is totally free. But if you're happy, if you were happy, if you had something special, and you know whether it's something special, he or she will come back. There's no need to panic, and there's no need to rush. It's very important. Maybe if there's one key takeaway in this video, if you haven't done any damages in the relationship, if you've been respectful, if you were happy, if the relationship was strong, there's no need to panic. You will end up together. I see every single day people getting back together. Because when things normalized, when the tension disappeared, and when both are trying to solve things because at the end of the day, you guys had something special, you will end up together. Okay? Unless you're fighting for a relationship that's not good for you. You're fighting for a relationship that's toxic. Okay? Where you are getting back to someone who's not respecting you, who doesn't have the desire to build something or to commit, as simply as that. Do I need help? My ex was amazing. I regret some of the things I said. In any case, as I said, you can use and you should use this situation to learn about you. And for me, I'm going to tell you a secret. the reason I love this job and I love helping people going through breakups is because that's the trigger for them to really do the work they've put on hold. The things about their security, the things about what they want to achieve. It's an excuse for people to really make a difference in their life. Not only love life, but in their life. So learning about yourself can become a fulfilling and rewarding journey. When you work with a psychologist like Sanela or anyone like myself, it doesn't have to be me. And I'm talking about Sanela because she just joined and she's amazing with what she does with people. It's really rewarding. You're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn so much about what you want, about your boundaries, about your needs. You know, you can read all the literature about relationship. It's really about expressing your needs, setting boundaries, understanding how to be more secure. And it is impossible to achieve that on your own, or it's very, very complicated. And for a while, I was really reluctant to get help. And because of my background and my studies, I had to see someone, and I realized that so much I could learn working with someone. It's gonna be, I can guarantee you, this is transformative and this is extremely sort of rewarding, and you see things differently and you feel so much better. So from a place where you're so much in pain, you're anxious, you're very critical about yourself, you can transform to a place where you feel you're confident, you know what you want, you know what you don't want, you're more secure. You're able to build sustainable relationship with your ex, with anyone in your life, right? The mindset shift, and it is extremely important. I want you to shift your mind or shift your thinking process from I will never get back with someone like my ex to something around the lines of, and if you have another way of saying it, let me know in the comment section, life is always well made. Again, if you are made to be together, you will end up together. It's as simple as that. My job is not to make your ex fall in love with you. My job is to facilitate, to remove any friction. Sometimes it accelerates things, but it's really about removing the friction. Really about removing those nasty emotions or unhealthy emotions that are sometimes making you do mistakes or say things the wrong way, or be too emotional, be too clingy, be too needy. But I'm not changing who you are. I'm also not only changing who you are, I'm changing how you deal with the situation. And that's why I think it's so rewarding for me and for Sanina, who works with me now, is that the solution comes within yourself. It's not about your ex, it's about you. Now, the on and off dynamic that I see is when you're with your ex and you're breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, this constant crisis. Sometimes men do that and just to check what's out there. They sort of leverage their monkey branching, they're leveraging their partners and want to know how they could maximize. You know, I'm better off with this person, and then they get bored, and I'm better off and they get back with the ex. Be really aware of that. If your ex does that, or if you've been in that situation, again, understand what you want, and realize that you allow your partner to do that. There are things you shouldn't accept, there are things you should compromise on, but this on and off can be really toxic and be really damaging. That's it, and if you want some to help me and support this channel, you can subscribe. There's only a few of you watching my videos who are subscribers. It does help me a lot to push the content out there. Take care of yourself, bye-bye. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.